Welcome to Jazz Time! Jazz Time is an online store that buys, sells, and trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so our customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves in the comfort of their own home. If you like this watch and would like to purchase it at the lowest price anywhere online, click the link in the description below to buy it at jazztime.com. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the Patek Philippe Nautilus Rose Gold with a black dial, reference 5980/1R-001. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the history of the Nautilus, or this specific Nautilus, and talk to you about where this Nautilus stands in the lineup of similar Nautiluses. You get it. And then talk to you about the case, bezel, dial, bracelet movement, and then finally try it on and give you my thoughts. So let's start with the history. The Nautilus was created in 1976, 4 years after the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, which was created in 1972 and was created by the same creator, Gerald Genta. Nautilus wanted an answer to the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, and they enlisted the great Gerald Genta, the same exact designer that came up with the Royal Oak for Patek Philippe. And they wanted their own version of a sports luxury watch. And what Gerald Genta came up with was the Nautilus that you see right here in front of you. Yes, it was different back then. It looked not as modern as it does now, but it's more or less the same design. And also, yes, in some ways you could say that Patek Philippe copied Audemars Piguet. In some way you could say that it was the birth of a new segment at that time. Anybody could join in, actually. Anyone could join in at any time, and they just happened to make one that's very similar and designed by the same man. Okay, and anyways, the Nautilus was not exactly a smash hit immediately, but over time, now it's almost 50 years, it is now a smash hit, and it's Patek Philippe's, not bestseller, but I definitely would say it's their most coveted line of watches. It also demands the highest premium above retail. Most of their other watches, of their complications, their grand complications and Calatravas, sell at or below retail, at least on the secondary market. But their Nautiluses sell for sometimes 50% more than retail, 100% more than retail, and even more. But that's rightfully so, and well, we'll get into that when we get to you about the details. Now, back to the history and the history of the 5980, this specific Nautilus you're looking at here, it was created in 2006. So this model has been out for quite some time. As of making this video, it's 2024, so that makes it 18 years that this Nautilus, the 5980, has been around. Now, when they originally created it, it came out in a stainless steel version, and in 2013, around 11 years ago, 11, they came out with the 5980/1R, which is in rose gold. It's the only rose gold version of this watch on bracelet available. They do make other versions with their own leather or two-tone steel, but the full rose gold is only this one. There's no other dial color, it is just the black dial that you see right here. And this was made in 2013, so that's around a 10-year run for this. And in fact, it was just discontinued, in 2024, February 1st, 2024, actually. So that means they'll probably just replace it with something better, a new chronograph, something like that. I can't imagine Patek not having some kind of chronograph Nautilus or some kind of special Nautilus to replace this one. So really, who knows when that will be out? My guess is sometime in Watch and Wonders 2024, which is typically in April, so that'll be another little bit of history in this. Let me tell you about where this watch stands in the lineup of other Nautiluses. I'm going with Nautiluses, not Nautili. Now, there's 5 basic categories of Nautiluses. You have the most basic one, which is time and date. It was the 5711, now it's the 5811. That's just time and date only. The next class is the moon phase, which is the 5712, and then you have the next phase, which is the annual calendar move phase, which is just a little bit thicker and more complicated. Each time the watch gets more complicated, the watch gets a little bit thicker. It makes sense. And then you have the moon face, which is the 5726. And then you have this one, which is the 5980, which just got discontinued. And then the granddaddy of them all, the 5990, which is a travel time and chronograph. I've forgotten to mention there's actually one more. Maybe you could even count this as a 6th category. technically. There's also a perpetual calendar. So yeah, that's all the classes of them. And you get more complicated and more complications. Yeah, okay, so that's all of them. That's all the classes of the Nautilus, and obviously as you get more complicated, there's more stuff in it. They are thicker and also more expensive. So the 5980 had its 2006 to 2024 run. The gold version had its run from 2013 until 2024, and they made several variations of that, but not really a ton of them. They've made it in stainless steel in a black dial, a white dial, blue dial, two-tone blue dial with a leather strap version in rose gold. They've made tons. And then they made the one that you see right here, which is the rose gold bracelet with a black dial. Arguably the biggest granddaddy of them all until the 5990 came out. So for quite some time, this watch, for I would say about 8 years, was reigning supreme. This is the most complicated rose gold Nautilus on the market from 2013 to 2020, 21, something like that. Okay, but it's still a very heavy hitter even today. And that's just where it stands in the lineup. Now let's actually talk about it. Starting with the case. Now the case is 40.5 millimeters, and you might think that's a little bit small. It's from my thumb to my index finger, the 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock, the longest distance across the bezel. That is 40 millimeters. But that doesn't actually take into account this little side thing, this hump, which is both left and right, and that doesn't include that in the official measurement. And it also doesn't include these pushers. So if you include all of that, it becomes a little bit larger. I would say, 45 millimeters, something like that, if you include these little sides and the crown. Okay, from the left and right, 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, if you include this, they don't include this. They measure to get 40.5, just the height or diameter of the, not the diameter. Yeah, diameter of the bezel going across the bezel. So in other words, it is technically on paper 40.5, but it wears much larger, closer to 45 millimeters. And also because of these lugs, they're not traditional lugs like you would have on any other watch where it attaches to the bracelet via a spring bar. In this situation, the Nautilus is made so that it has an integrated bracelet, and as such, the lugs on it are quite fat, which also makes it look even bigger. And so there you have it. You have a 40.5 watch, but it wears much bigger, and that's what I'm trying to get along with all of these pushers. Okay, and that is the case. And since we're talking about the case, I want to bring your attention to the fine detail or the polishing of the case. It's done to absolute perfection to Patek Philippe standards, which is the highest standard, by the way. And it's that you will have this case that is a satin finish on top with a sort of beveled edge, and here, which is high polish, and then you have this high polish on the edges. So the pushers themselves have this high polish, and then if you look at the casework on it, one of the reasons that I've heard, one of the reasons they don't do so many Nautiluses is because it takes time, and it takes so much time to make these incredibly well done cases. It takes forever to do, and you can see why. If you look at the side of the case, it just looks absolutely beautiful, and it looks like it took forever to make. And I might also mention it has a screw-down crown, which is a good thing to do so that the watch stays waterproof when you dive with it. I mean, it's called a Nautilus. Nautilus has some water heritage to it, right? Anyways, that is the case. Now let's move on to the bezel. The bezel is a rose gold bezel. The whole thing is rose gold. And this bezel, I would say, is the most iconic part of the watch. It's part of what makes the Nautilus look like the Nautilus. Now, what is so special about it? Well, it's not octagonal like the Royal Oak, but it has its own... It has its many facets to it, but it's not exactly a circle. It's not exactly a square. It's sort of a rounded square, if you will. It has these edges that make it look like a square, but not exactly. I mean, the watch itself is right in front of you, or at least in the video. It can describe itself. And what you'll notice is the top of it is finely finished in a satin finish, and the edges are high polish. Again, beautifully done. And now let's move a little bit to the dial over here. The dial is the only variation of this material that is made, which is black on the rose gold. They use indexes on the hour markers. Now, why? I think it unclutters the dial. The logo is written in a nice white color, and you'll also notice that here the subdial at the 6 o'clock is also in white. Now on some of the other 5980s, their steel one and their steel and gold, or steel and... they're steel and gold, and they're leather with gold. What they did on this print, they actually put different colors in print, like red, but I think it didn't really look good on that. It looked much better with this monocolor black and white printing on black. I know it seems like a subtle issue, but it really does make the watch look quite cleaner in my opinion. Alright, now let's get back to the subdial. It's actually the chronograph counter. Now, the difference between the 5980s, the chronograph rose gold, and the travel time chronograph is the chronograph. It can actually calculate up to 12 hours. The travel time can only calculate time up to 60 minutes, okay? And that's actually harder to read. It's easier to read on this watch, I think. Okay, so what happens in this situation? The long hand, once you've activated the top button, it goes down around twice in 60 minutes, and the hour marker moves over half a click every 30 minutes. So there's actually a small hand under the minute hand that goes around to hours, so you can actually tell how many hours and minutes has elapsed, presumably if you're checking the time of a race or airplane flight, whatever you may be. Okay, but the point is, it can calculate elapsed time up to 12 hours. And I'm glad, unlike many other chronographs, they got rid of the tachymeter, which is this ring around the edge of the dial that can help you calculate elapsed time. But I just wonder who actually uses that on other watches. I'm so glad they got rid of it because it really is just a useless function. Anyway, so that is the dial. Now let's... Actually, I forgot to mention, since we're talking about the case, the height is also a very important number of the case. Going back to the case, the thickness of this watch is 12.2 millimeters. It's the second thickest. The next thickest is the big brother, the travel time, which is at a 12.5. So pretty much the height is negligible when it comes to which one is thicker, but they're both not that thick, surprisingly at 12 millimeters. To give you some reference, it's not that thick. A Datejust is 12 millimeters. So with all of these complications, it's not that thick at all. And Patek is known for making watches, very complicated watches, in a very thin package, and here you can see it firsthand. And it's actually not that much different. If you look at the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, their current ones, I believe, are something around 13 or 12 millimeters, something around there, but on the high end of 12. So it's not much different. So the companies really are neck and neck when it comes to making this as thin as possible. But technically, Patek has inched them out or micromillimetered them out by just that little bit. Anyways, let's move on to the movement. I guess it would be, as you can see, the movement is a very beautiful movement here. I mean, I really can't say something so special about this movement because it looks pretty much just like all of their other movements. It has this beautiful gold rotor here. It's the caliber CH28520C. It's automatic winding. It has a 55-hour power reserve, and it really doesn't look much different from any other Patek movement. But it's not a bad thing because Patek movements are some of the most beautiful movements in the world. And they are known for making these beautiful and intricate movements. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. I can't say all that much about that other than I'm glad it's an open case back. You can see their name on it, you can see the serial number, and that's the movement. Now let's move on from there to the bracelet. The bracelet is also iconic and it's integrated. Now, I believe the bracelet is really an integral part of this watch and not really so on many other watches, but on this one in particular, the Nautilus and the bracelet is really iconic. There's no other bracelet that looks like this one. I have to probably give it, in terms of how you compare it to the Royal Oak, the bracelet probably looks better on here, although that is up for debate. Okay, now what specifically do I like about this bracelet? Well, first of all, if you notice that the center is high polished and the links are connecting them are satin finish. But if you look at them even closer, the edge of the bracelet are actually high polished, and that edge continues through onto the case, and that makes it look like it is an integrated unit. And now here is something else that's special about this. In 2020 or 21, Patek changed the bracelet. Okay, not technically the bracelet, they changed the buckle specifically. Now, the old buckle had a flip buckle, which is not a bad buckle by any means. It was held together by pressure. In the version that you see here in front of you, anything after 2020, 21, whatever it was, I can't remember, they changed it to this butterfly clasp where you pinch these two buttons here simultaneously and the buckle opens. And it's much more beautiful and elegant way to display the buckle. Before you just had to flip it open, pull on it, physically to pull on it. And that could actually get worn out over time and not be so tight when you've worn it a couple hundred or thousand of times. But with this new system, you have this butterfly clasp, you click it and it opens so much cooler and beautifully. First of all, it makes the watch look much more modern. I think they should have done it way earlier, but that's beside the point. It is also a much more secured option in my opinion because basically you have to press both of them simultaneously. The other one's just pressure. You pull on it and it opens. This one, you have to physically press these two buttons for it to pop open. And now, with that being said, let's go ahead and try it on and I'll give you my thoughts. Now, I am 6 feet tall, 200 pounds, and I have a 7.5-inch wrist. It's a large wrist, but not it's an extra large, a medium large. Let's say something like that. But anyways, my thoughts are I am a huge fan of this Nautilus in general. There are many others to choose from. For me, I like the more complicated ones, the better. And there's only two gold, all gold. Well, technically there's three. There's three all gold Nautiluses to choose from. The 5711, which is time and date only. It's very thin. Then there's the 5980, which is what you're looking at here. We're selling it somewhere between 160 and 200,000. And then there's the 5711, which is around 150, 160. And then there's the 5990. As of 2024, it's trading between 230, 260,000, depending on a couple things. Okay, so pick your price point. I have to say probably I like the 5990 more. But that's just more money, so it's for this price range. I want to say Patek really hit it out of the park. It's been my favorite watch for many years until the 5990 came out. But it's still a very, very top of the line watch. And if the budget is, say, let's say up to 200,000, I would definitely go with the 5980. It's a beautiful watch. It attracts a lot of attention, so you better be ready for that. It's expertly done. It's also discontinued. They don't make this anymore. And so the only place you can get it at the lowest price anywhere online is only at jazztime.com.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to Model as seen in video, click on it and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.